Welcome to the discussion segment of Good Morning Anambra Wednesday edition. Kekunume. I'm an Inora Wednesday. You know what? Niene Sozebu Kekunume. Unapatakola no nundebai. Yotago dalono. Yes, afambo ijoma. Muno nyotum eje no eba. Mana obuna anya kawasi ndi nonyela anyi anya kpobatazi onye obuna. Tata, if I know encouraging public-private community partnership, that's the PPC. I'm not about it. That is the trending word in Anambra State. If you're from this state, you should have heard that. No, if you do to a governor point, say, "Amalo can do bodogi si we nyaka nyelo government yaka or government nyelo faka." Because when you hear partnership, more you will think Ijin, will think Kenji, and your partner and your way ke meife or daba. Ode ma onya ka ige nenya tata and ni nenye anya anyị kpọtanda na fagano tata onye nke mbụ bụ Mr. Chinecherem Oguegbe. Chinemerem Oguegbe biko Chinemerem Oguegbe bụ business development specialist and the chairman Anambra chairman Nigerian Association of Small and Medium Enterprises Anambra State chapter. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Dubai, Anambra.
Odema onye nke Bolo, Comrade Ken Okoli. Comrade Ken Okoli bụ President General Anambra State Association of Town Unions Youth Wing. Ndị nke anyị na-akpọ Asatu Youth. And then anyị na-akpọkwa ya eze ndị ntorobịa because onye nwa na-achịkọta ndị ntorobịa niile nọ n'obodo a. Ken, good morning.
Good morning, Anambra. Ekenekwa m unu.
No, anyị na-ekene gị. AJ.
Good morning. Dubai, no.
Yes, AJ. Kedo, let's shoot.
Well, yeah, it's very, very important to know that you understand, they said an individual doesn't make a forest, and that's why when you see development in communities, it is not just Ofonye and governments have their own role to play, the environment has their own role, community have their own role. But let me begin with Chinemerem, you know. When we talk about this public-private partnership, being that no, that's the business you're into. How do you begin to sensitize people on their own responsibilities and then government, Amaluzi and Kebu, their own? How does that synergy come to play?
Okay, first and foremost, a very good initiative and is a model of development now this sustainable across the globe. And Governor Charles Sukuma Soludo for designing this model and adopting this model for sustainable development in Anambra State. Ihe model anwa na-egosi bụ that na onye ọbụla nwere role to play in governance. To build the Anambra of our dreams, onye ọbụla nwere a role to play. Ịma mgbe ụfọdụ ya go used to emekwara na asị gọọmenti melonka. Government in Melonka. But I am Morozina, I am a role as citizens, as private sector, as community, the role we play in ensuring that now with the Anambra of our dreams. It starts with sensitization, value orientation. By the stakeholders, the public sector. When you talk about the public sector, you're talking about the business people, the private sector people. They know that in their day-to-day activities, in the way they run their businesses, they have roles and responsibility to play in the development of the state. Then when it comes to the community also, when it also comes to the community also has a role to play in terms of ensuring that most of the programs of the government na enke wadata n'obodo maọbụ infrastructure debe n'obodo na na-echekwa bịa na-eme na ọ na-adị. While government is keen on the policy formulation and infrastructural development, ọ ga-egosi that na onye ọbụla mala ọrụ ya na-ekele ọrụ eke, onye ọbụla mala ọrụ ya n'ichekwaba Anambra and ime ka anyị nwee the Anambra of our dreams. Ọ ga-eme anyị nweta the Anambra of our dreams. But most importantly, orientation ka onye ọbụla malụ no nwere ọdụ dịịrị ya n'ebe ọbụla ị nọ towards achieving this model.
Odema, dalo, Chinemerem, dalo. Ken Okoli, amam na iso n'ife na-eme na state. And Well, government introduced to this community government partnership. Kawakile can deal with those who are nabatia.
Dalo, this is public-private community partnership. Nkedibu Anambra PPP, public-private partnership. Now, there's this community inclusion in it. Now, it's an operational model in governance whereby you have to factor in the people you are doing this thing for to be part of the process, in decision making, part of the process in delivering the governance, so that they will understand the importance of sustaining that thing you're doing for them. And also, it also encourage the community, because the community is seen as the informal fourth tier of government, where it has a structure of leadership. Igwe, the town union, and in the town union, you have the women wing, then you have the youth wing. Now,
You have village heads.
yes, under the town union, yeah. Now, it also have the kindred leadership, yes. And also, in some communities, they have their own administrative wards that they use to ensure that whatever it is saddled, whatever that the community is saddled with, they can actually sit on such matter and take decision on it based on the words they have created for themselves. Now, this approach is important for Africa. It's important for Africa in the sense that, in Africa we live a communal life. It's not something that nobody, if you come in here, everybody has a root. And this communal life is now being something that we are not saying we don't want it. No, we are appreciating that communal lifestyle and integrating it in the mainstream of governance, whereby the people that need these goods and services to be delivered to them, they need to be part of decision making. It's key. Because if they understand it, if they are part of the decision making, they will understand the importance of sustainability. Because for example, Anambra State, whatever you want to do in Anambra State, there is a community that is receiving that thing.
I know, but let me see. Is this part of the past administration's community development fund of 20 million naira, whereby the community will be called along or coupon to say what they want?
Community choose your project.
Okay, choose your project.
Community choose your project.
Yes.
It is still part of it. Even there is this style this administration used in doing it. Now, instead of communities were asked to also get a little form filling what you want to do, but the administration also looked at the critical sector that requires funding. That every administration will have limited funds. We don't see government. Sometimes people see government as, it has. In fact, it has unlimited access to fund. No, government also needs fund, and that is why this government administration looked at it. There is a critical aspect of the administration that requires funding, and that is health sector. Instead of saying, okay, community choose your project, and this community choose your project, some communities maybe still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months trying to settle with who will execute this project and all that. Then he said, no, in the health sector, let us look at our primary health sector. It requires funding. Let's put that fund in that area. At least every ward should have primary health center. And you can see a lot of fund was put in there. And if you go to primary health centers today, you see that they have been rehabilitated. Put fund in it.
This is more like telling us what government is doing. But what we're trying to see here is the benefit of the public-private partnership, you understand? You talked about the former administration having the 20 million community choose your project, and it has been remodified into this community store. Now, how do those projects that communities actually want get the government's attention, because for selfish interests, people might we need to take as there was the community where siting of a borehole and the location became a problem, to the extent that the entire community now said, okay, since we are having loggerheads with the siting, the location of the borehole, let us even do road. So, being the Asatu Youth Wing, how do you harmonize this and bring to rest disputes? And then, you know, villages and every person will want to definitely, there's this thing. We have that in common. Let us not deny the fact. How do governments get to now, you know, eradicate that part and give the community what they want? That's one question. Now, when the government begins to do the work of community partnership and the rest of it all, what happens to those elected people, your councillors, your, what is it called, State House of Assembly, then the federal? What responsibility?
Where do they come in?
Where do they come in? Because we need to know where, if I'm a youth in my community now, who do I go to meet if I need this project? Who do I go to meet if I need such project? Please just harmonize so that we will be on the...
Let me start from the second one. You know, there's something we have already started seeing, and it looks as if that it is the job of the legislator. The primary job of the legislator is to make laws, not as a good project. And it's a wrong trend. Now, a lawmaker who is supposed to go there and represent his people and look at the laws that are going to be for the betterment of the society, and you now be expecting the lawmaker to do projects that the executive are supposed to do. It's wrong. We are having much expectation on the lawmakers. And that is why we see, I pity a lot of lawmakers, because we will have expectation that they will never meet. And that expectation, we always look at them as they have failed. But when we look at from the expectation, how many bills has this lawmaker been able to contribute in making? How many motions has this lawmaker been able to contribute? And look at it, narrow it down from that angle. Now we'll stop having so much expectation from lawmakers. They are not project executors. They are lawmakers. They are there to make laws. That is by the way. Then you look at the first question he asked.
Yeah, the conflict of projects to be cited and then where and the rest of it.
Now you look at it. First and foremost, I said that communities were asked to fill a form, and they filled the form. I'm part of my own community's choose a project, of which I signed. I'm part of it because government said that the PG, the Igwe, the PG, the woman leader, and youth leader must sign. I signed for the youth in the youth column. Now, for the fact that communities were asked to get projects of their need, 3. It has given government information. What is the need area of need for that community? That's 1. 2, having access to all this information will enable you to know what is the common need among all of them. Look at this administration now. For a long time, we have not had water the way we have it now. It's not that everybody, if you build a house, you source your water. You get no, but now you can. I can't remember last time I'll just be passing and see pipe water, the people fetching water, you know. But it's now something that people are doing it privately. No public. Now it gave government the understanding that, oh, this is the common need, priority that we can face and tackle. But note one thing, this PPCP approach, it doesn't mean that government is to do everything. It's an approach that encourages the individuals who have the wherewithal to come in and be part of the development effort of the people, whereby the illustrious ones who have what it takes to also commit their fund in providing projects that will be beneficial to the community. And the community, as the recipient of this project, will also set up a committee that will ensure whatever that is required to ensure the sustainability of this project is being done. That is very key. Now you see the partnership, that is tripartite partnership, that is operational and is a model that everyone that is supposed to be a key player is on the spot playing its own role.
Okay.
That's the essence of the PPCP approach.
Okay, Ken, we'll still come back to that, but before then, we try to state here that what we're used to before is government community partnership, but now that's this private thing that just came in, making it a PPC.
No, public. Usually public-private partnership. Now it's public.
No, when I'm talking about Anambra State, the community choose your thing initiative between the community and the government. Now that this one is in now, I want to find out from Chinemerem how the private sector will come in this, okay? Not just the sector, individuals. I know in my town, people do roads. They, think boreholes for their communities, and this one has nothing to do with government. So how do we now incorporate individuals into this partnership?
Okay. Now, like you rightly said before, now individuals can actually decide to do road or sink a borehole. But the unique thing about this model now is that the government is telling you, we want to appreciate you. Don't just do this thing for your community. We want the state government and the whole Anambra to know that you've done noble. So we want to start celebrating our people, then encouraging the private sector, because a lot of companies, there is what is called corporate social responsibilities. So now you are not just doing the corporate social responsibility because you want to do it, but you are doing it. Government will appreciate you, and you see genuinely that government appreciates this role that you are playing in government. Now, how they appreciate is that for the fact that you've done this, first and foremost is that, like we've seen, normally before now, if you do a road, probably you call 1 or 2 or 3 of your friends, call the community, they come and commission it. But now, the governor is committed to coming straight down. Once you do the road, tell him, he said he will come and actually come and commission this road on your behalf. It's a great deal that the governor of a state came to commission a road that you did for your
Before I do the road, do I need any permission from the government to do the roads?
No, what you just need is the basic requirements for doing a road, which you could get from the State Ministry of Works, and making sure, because you are also making sure that the roads are standards according to the state standards for
doing. Yes, I wanted to ask of
supervision. So what you are doing is I want to do this road, I want to do so kilometer of road. Okay, you bring in the required documentations that you need just to make it formal, and ensure that this road it's actually the standard based on the Ministry of Works. So it's something that once you do, the state government will come, and there are little incentives that you also get.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I want to do one.
No, for the fact that you...
At least recognition.
Yeah, for the fact that you did a road, you're a stakeholder in governance.
That's cool.
So there are things that you might naturally want to do, and you feel like, okay, government will be like, okay, it's a stakeholder, you understand, you could do this. Legal things.
Illegal things. Okay, this way now that we have seen the government, we have seen the community, we have seen the individuals. What about the corporate bodies, like the banks, the big companies who have? How do they come into this?
Yes, that's why we say the corporate social responsibility, because
are they part of this arrangement?
Yes, they ought to be. They are, because they're the private sector, and it falls on them that the community or the area or the state you are working, there is a percentage that you get involved in that particular area, probably in the state or in the particular community. So it befalls on them. So it's a responsibility that they should be proud of, because at the end of every year, when they're writing their report, they will say, okay, so amount of our money, of our profit went to CSR. And you now say, okay, look at what we actually did with it. So what the government is doing now is through this partnership now, you are much more accountable. Because when you say you did this, government will say, no, we didn't see this project here. The community will say, oh, no, there was nothing like this.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to find out. They used to do it, the CRs. But this one, in this arrangement, how do they come in? How they come in
now is that they've been doing it, but right now, just like the person has been doing road before, now you are a part of a government model. So you are proud to say that we are working based on this model in Anambra. Look at what we are bringing to based on our CSR. Sometimes they even shoot above what their legal CSR is because of this kind of model. Because you have a relationship, you are not. It's not just about the legal implication. You are now trying to make impact. You are partnering with the government to make impact and ensure sustainable development. Before then, it was just a legal thing. I need to ensure that but now there is an emotional pact with it. There is a partnership. There is a need for sustainable development and growth. You are partnering with the government and even your host community. You are showing empathy. I want to see your growth. I want to see we are working here. We are making money from you guys. We want to see your growth. We are not just doing it because the law says we will do it. We are doing it because we want to see growth. We want to ensure the sustainability of this environment. Because when you people grow, we also make more money. So the model is fantastic.
Yeah, model is fantastic. But then you think to be talking more on the big shots, people that are getting recognition for building roads. What about the artisans, the small businesses, that market woman trading that is having less than 10, 15,000 naira to even do business with? Where does the PPCP comes in to help people like that so that the economy too can even thrive?
Thank you very much, because like the small businesses is actually my area of cost specialization. And like I said earlier when I started, everybody has a role. Everybody, especially the small businesses. Remember that these small businesses we are talking about, according to National Bureau of Statistics, has over 97.3% of the income of this country in Nigeria. As the statistics based on Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, 97.3% of businesses are small businesses. So you should imagine the amount of money they are bringing into the economy. So these are very, very critical stakeholders in even the partnership. Now, you are not also expecting them to bring money. They are not meant to also bring money or go and do roads. There are little things they can do in their business places that will enhance that this model works out. As small as paying your sanitation fee as at when due, paying your business premises as at when due, encouraging the safety. Now we are talking about safety in Anambra, Udogachi. Now, if there is something that is working that you are not sure, if there's anything that you are not so sure about, you could report. Simply getting a number and reporting to the relevant agencies, the credit agencies. Look at what is happening in my business area. Look at what is happening within my community of business or within my street. Look at what is happening that is not okay. You are also trying to curb crime. So when we talk about the partnership model, it's all encompassive. It's not just about building roads. It's not just about trying to do or build boreholes. Those little things, those little contributions, even as small as helping your vigilante in your street to work effectively, you are contributing to this model. Even trying to ensure that you do business the right ways. You pay tax as at when due. You actually do things. And when you haven't some customer relationship, the way you even relate to those people that come to buy from you, these are also very, very key to this model. It's a sustainable, it's an all-encompassing model. It's not just about infrastructural development. It's about building a brand for the state, having an image, a corporate image. Because we are talking about, like I'm going to always say, we want Anambra not to be a departure lounge again, but to be a lounge where people can actually come in and stay. So the way I come, and you as a small cobbler, you as a small business person, if I come into Anambra, the way you react to me, the way you sell to me, if you start selling inferior products, you are not also patronizing this model. Because this model shows that if you are doing that product or services, it should be genuine. It should be a brand that you'll be proud of. Because right now, the government is also trying to market the Anambra brand. Now, who are the people that are marketing? It's these small businesses. It's their brands and services that we are marketing to the world. So if you don't bring a brand that in the Anambra will be proud of, that the government will be proud, because when you do that, that's why the partnership is very key in the entrepreneurial sector. Because from the enterprise development sector, what you now do is to get a product that you can say that this is a quality product I want to export to the world. You've done your bit. The partnership will now say, okay, government will take this product and say, this is a viable product. We want to introduce this product not just in the Anambra, but outside Anambra, and to be a global product. They will now take it from there. Now, by doing that, the government is also getting the community involved by saying that this particular product is a very wonderful product. Communities will want to patronize you. So you see how it now involves everybody in the enterprise sector.
Oh, thank you so much for that. At this juncture, we'll call for a break. Get to hear what our street parliamentarians are definitely coming up with, talking about the same topic we have discussing here in the studio. Don't go anywhere. The show continues after this.
Up to now, government does top to bottom approach. So a government comes to a community and says, "Oh, we'll give you borehole." So they drill a borehole, and then everybody goes away. Now, if you notice, between 1994 upwards, most of the boreholes that were done by UNICEF, most of those have all collapsed. Why? Nobody at the community level takes ownership of it. So government comes, does something, goes away. Sometimes what was even done is not what the community needs. Sometimes what the thing that government is even doing, if you ask the community, what do you need? It's not that they need something else. But because you didn't ask them, you gave them what you think they need, not what they have told you. You come to a village. What is your biggest need? What is that thing that makes people cry that if I give it to you, you'll be happy? Then they will point at their problem. Because they are connected to that problem has been their problem. It has been their headache. If you give it to them, they value it, number one. They get involved in the process, number two. They protect it, number three. They even contribute to it. And so, the public community partnership has been the driving key to project sustainability at the grassroots level. Because the thing we have done for the community is solving their problem, and they don't want to lose it. So they are committed to protecting it. They are committed to securing it. They are committed to even bringing you feedback as to how that thing is doing, because it is meeting their need. But if you just come and say, we'll give you borehole, okay, you can do your borehole, then it becomes government project. So we are moving away from the era of government project, the era of this is our project. Committee members saying this is our project. And I will tell you this, people don't get committed to things because it's expensive. No. People get committed to things because they have contributed to it. Most people are attached to their sacrifice. An average individual is attached to something that has cost him something. So as when I'm doing this hospital for the community, and I told them, you people will give me community land. That's your land, bring it to government. So they sacrifice their land, their ancestral land, for to be the hospital. Don't let it burn down. Or you tell them, you people will have to do A, B, C, D here. Or maybe we're going to build this hospital, but it will be your duty to paint it, for instance. And then the town union goes to their account, pulls their money, use it to paint the hospital. If you touch it, they will kill you. Because it's now their hospital. Yes. But if they contributed nothing to it, they just woke up one day, saw a building rising, woke up one day, saw the building completed, woke up one day, saw it commissioned, they don't know what it is. They can go there and remove the roof.
They try to work together to achieve a common goal by sharing resources and also trying to allocate resources to the sectors among themselves. So it will bring more of development within the ecosystem at large, be it in the public sector, for community sector or private.
It is a great thing and it can only be positive. There is no provision for negative in it. The reason is that once it has been defined from the beginning that it is a partnership that involves the three key elements, public, private, and community, it's almost guaranteed that the project will succeed and will be completed and will be sustainable. The reason is that every human being, if we are talking about human capacity, every human being comes from a community. If we are talking about infrastructural development or any other physical projects, these projects must happen in communities. So once the community where these individuals or entities or projects are being handled or done are involved, it means that they would be sure to make their own inputs and take ownership appropriately. So it means that the public will take ownership, private will take ownership, the community will take ownership. And when all the key actors take ownership, then there will be no lapses and the success is almost guaranteed.
Public development is a process whereby people come together to develop or to put action together in order to bring development in the community. It's just like a partnership between the government, which is public, that private, which is a philanthropist, an individual. So it's important for them to comprise, for them to identify a need. Just like when we go to a community now, go to health centers, some of the health centers, that's badly kept because they abandon them, waiting for government to come. But when I say philanthropy, somebody that has money, somebody that wants to, where he can just put that money into. When you go to that private health center, discover they have so many places you can put your money, can help them to develop the health center so that people can benefit from it. That is why government doesn't take it all now. We have a lot of people that join together to develop. That is what they call community development. So, but we need a lot of awareness. People don't even know some. You don't know that is very necessary for them to come and join hands with the government to put that development in order.
Private, public, and community should be a synergy. They should work as a synergy because one cannot do without the other. That's the truth. Now let's look at the private sector. The private sector is doing well in their own part. The public sector and with the government, they are really trying on their own part. So where the problem lies now is in the community. Now there are so many talents within the community that are yet to be harnessed because they are being overlooked. That is one. Secondly, I think lack of funding. I know how many projects that have, okay, I would like to do this, I would like to embark on this, but along the line, there is no money, and you cannot kill yourself. You've submitted proposal to carry a particular project, but there is no money, there is no encouragement. Let's just leave money aside. So when you get that encouragement, when I did my NYSC, there was this project I carried out. I knew how many private companies that I met just to support. At the end of the day, I used my NYSC money with one of my colleagues in NYSC to carry out the project in Ogun State. And this is something at the end of the day we have benefited. What I'm telling you.
To have you back from that street walk. We can all see the benefits of the PPCP, the innovation, the partnership, the growth in economy, even the shared responsibility too, because government has their role to play, private partnership have their own role to play, and then the community too have their role to play. We can all say that with all parties coming together, the synergy will definitely, we'll see development, taking place in every facet. But then let me come to Chinemere, with this issue that we have, the partnership, community, we are not seeing the development in bounds and leaps. What could be responsible for these challenges that the development we are meant to see is not in bounds and leaps like we have in other developing countries that practice such?
Yes, like I said earlier, it has a lot to do with sensitization and value orientation. Before now, we feel that governance is just about government. So what we'll talk about is that who are elected officials, who are the lawmakers, just like my friend here pointed out earlier. Everybody's looking at the lawmakers. So even when they are not statutory by law, given that distance to go and build roads, but everybody feels like, oh, my road is bad, our lawmaker is not doing this one. You understand? So everybody has huge responsibility on government and government officials, whereby all of us are critical stakeholders. So what we are doing now, I think the phase we are, which is normal, is trying to let people understand that all of us are stakeholders. We have one or two things to actually bring to the table. So that's why I think it's a process. If you look at like the Asian countries, Malaysia, India, this has been a part and parcel of, and they've done this for years. If you go to Western world, like United States, the private sector, they are critical stakeholders in governance. In fact, they dictate who. You see what's happened in the US recently. Immediately, the private sector started tilting towards Donald Trump. Everybody knew it was game over, because these are the people that these are the people that helps government at formulating policies and even implementing the policies and even bringing the finances. And again, you talk about innovation again. These are people that advise government. Government doesn't know it all. So these are people that will bring and say, this kind of thing could actually work. Look at what we are doing. We could pass it on to government. Government will actually take ownership of this and run it. And that's why here innovation comes in. Ideas, different people can bring ideas, the business people, the private sector. What you are doing in your company and is working out very well, you could sell to the government, and government can replicate it on a bigger scale, and they will use policies to actually they formulate policies so that other people can actually take advantage of it, and it becomes a state policy, and the state entirety can actually benefit from it. So it's something that we actually need to understand, which is the level and the phase we are. Let people take ownership, understand that we are all partners in progress. I have a role to play, the government has a role to play, everybody is a critical stakeholder to achieve this.
Very important. Okay, Ken, when you were talking initially, you said that the government has seen that there's this lacuna in health sector. So he kind of concentrated on the health sector. But then I know there are other pockets of infrastructures here and there. But apart from this, what about the schools? Which areas would you say that have benefited again apart from the health sector? And then is there any tangible example of a completed project based on this partnership that you can mention to us?
You see, there's something I want us to understand about this PPCP. This PPCP is a model, operational model that has brought in community component in the decision-making process. In fact, let me even tell you, the implementation level here in the state, I'm expecting that in the nearest future, or maybe even happen in this administration, probably the second term, that where the head of the traditional rulers, also the national president of ASATU, parent body, will be members of the State Executive Council, where decisions of the state are being taken.
As the fourth tier of the government.
As the fourth tier of the government. Because the main point there is at the level where decision is being taken. That is the key. Is the community fully involved in that decision-making process before you talk about execution? Because when decision is taken, you now have people who execute. But at that decision point, is the community as a fourth tier of the government involved? If the community as a fourth tier government is not involved, then it means that we still need to upgrade the level the community plays in the PPCP approach. Because it's not just when the execution is to be done, you now involve community. When decisions have been taken, community is not part of it. When you talk about execution, how to execute it, how better to make sure that delivery is done in our involved community. It's not what we are expecting. But so far, not bad. Now, let me give you an instance. Remember, 2 years ago, this government, through agriculture, shared palm seedlings. Last year, it also did that. Do you know this January, we've gotten forms, directive asking us, those that collected, if the PGs were asked, your community collected palm seedlings through you. We want to see a report on from those people that collected palm seedlings. How is that palm seedlings, how are they doing today?
Mm-hmm. What is the progress
report? Let us have a feedback. Mm-hmm. You can now see that the essence of one of the key importance of these PPCP approaches are feedback. It is embodies feedback mechanism, whereby the partnership itself has a way of, when you are implementing it, you are as well also seeing what is the feedback like. So these people, now that the reforms have been circulated, PGs are asked to, those people that benefited, let us get the feedback from them. Also, we are giving a form, because we are giving palm seedlings. I've also sent it to across my members, say, let us give a feedback.
Before you give the governor the feedback, can you give us the feedback? What are they like?
Now,
have they bothered progressing?
Yes. But you know, in all honesty, you can't have 100% of it.
Of course.
You can't. There's no way.
We know that.
You can't have 100%.
That's what I want to see. Is any project that has been put in place?
No,
I can point and this is the product of the PPCP.
No, for example, let me even give you, they are bound.
They are bound.
Now, talking about this one, we have not been able to collect the information because we just received that form 2 days ago. So it's in circulation. Members have to fill and send to me. Then I'll have to send it to the Ministry of Agriculture. Now, but when individuals execute projects, like you mentioned, projects like infrastructure, like road, you need to, government will also support you to provide the professional advice that requires, if it's a private thing, you pay. Mm-hmm. Standard process that you have to undertake. The process you have to also to ensure that the standard, you do not go below standard because it's a public thing. Now, such thing is an encouragement for somebody who is putting in money to public use. Now, you see in various communities, individuals doing a lot of projects. In fact, I can even tell you, there is no community today you will not see 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 individuals who are voluntarily contributing to the development of their community without asking for any reward. And that is why even Asatu Youth last year selected one person for each community and asked them, ask community, give us one person who has voluntarily contributed to the development of the community so that we appreciate them at the state level.
Okay.
And that shows that community people have always been enthusiastic about what will bring development in their domain. But what this one is now doing is this. This approach is now encouraging more participation. Because when you have more people participate, you have funds coming in. Even when people invest here, it's also part of the PPCP.
Okay, Ken, we are running short of time. Let's look at other areas before we conclude.
Well, let me just quickly speak on this before we draw up our conclusion. Talking about development, community, private partnership, we have existential issues confronting us in Nigeria and then in Anambra, and that's security. And sincerely speaking, community security cannot be done only by the government. So now I want to ask our Asatu youth leader, what are your communities doing in order to make Anambra State, in the area of security, peaceful, lovable, so that that mandate of Mr. Governor will definitely be there. Like Chinemerem said, business cannot thrive in a chaos environment. So we need to have our security tipped so that business, we can attract business. We talk about Akuluno. Is there's no peace in our community. So just put us through what your PPC has,
briefly, please.
the blueprint on ground for us.
You know, the new approach to the fight against insecurity was clearly put in place. On the 18th, Mr. Governor signed into law Homeland Security Law 2025. Now, it's a shift from the old system in the community. You know, in security parlance, we say there is this personal security, local security, state security, national security. But in the previous, before now, we had it that the traditional ruler is the chief security of the community, while the PG is the secretary of the community, security community. The law, the Homeland Security law, has now clearly given specific rules to the security component, the community security component of the state, and also giving specific tasks to the town union, which is headed by the PG. Now, what does that mean? Whereby the traditional ruler, who is the head of the security committee, is given the power to set up a committee and engage even individuals who have the wherewithal to contribute funds, people who have expertise to be part of the committee in developing security architecture for the community. The PG is heading the operational arm of the Agune Chamber, which is mandated with the responsibility to ensure that issue of security is tackled head on. Therefore, the reports are expected to be coming from the operational angle, because it is when the operational angle is active that they can give reports of what they are doing. Because first thing about fighting insecurity is this: information. If you don't have a reliable way of getting information on issues of crime, you will find it difficult to tackle security issue. Because they say, information is the commodity of the king. Okay. So this approach, PPCP's approach, is this homeland law has clearly made communities to be stakeholders in the area of fighting crime. So that in every community, anywhere you see insistent kidnapping, at every point in time, in a month you see 10 kidnapping happening in a particular place. What it means is this: that community is not doing enough to solve the issue of kidnapping, because it means that kidnappers are within that community. And you hold them responsible. The PG, responsible. Because he's heading the operational arm of the security component of the Agune Chamber at the community level. Okay. This is no longer the time you say you don't know who it is, you call community. You have somebody you can hold responsible for whatever happens there. Now you call the PG, he's accountable, because if anything happens in the community and you say a particular crime, because how we call crime pattern. If kidnapping is happening in a particular community, 1 day, 2 days, 3 times, then that means PG has to be held accountable for it.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, as we are concluding, let's look at the challenges. Let's look at the challenges we are facing. Chinemerem, am I right? I don't know why we are alternating your name. Chinemerem, Chinecherem, okay. Let's see the kind of challenges that we're going to see, foresee in this partnership, the PPCP. And then again, this sustainability. I know government come, government go. Okay, before now it was a community choose your project initiative, and now it is PPCP. Another government comes in the next 5 years and then bring up a new one. Is there any way, what we would do to, sustain this type of approach to make sure that, because they say government is in continuum, but they don't continue with other people's projects. Okay, we want to see the areas we need to strengthen to sustain this. And then, by extension, is there any kind of challenges we'll face in doing this?
Okay, yes, there is need for sustainability for it to work, and this is a global model of leadership because it's carrying everybody along. And I don't think there is any government that truly wants development in any state that will come in and see this model and don't want to use it. Because it's all encompassing, it's giving everybody a voice, is bringing development from all tiers. Every government will want to partner with this initiative because you know that government doesn't have the money to actually run all they want to run. But through this partnership, individual, private sector could actually bring money to the table. Government will trust what you are doing. We are bringing this so that you could actually use it to run your programs. So, number one is sincerity of purpose from government. Once there is sincerity of purpose, which we've seen in Anambra, that our governor is sincere about this, you see people coming out. That's why you see people all over communities coming out and embracing this project. In fact, I have people on social media who are my friends that will always, they were proud of, I went to my community, I did this particular, they are posting it to their social media, their friends are seeing it. They will be challenging, during this Christmas, they're challenging, come and do something so that governor will come and commission you. So it's now something that people will be proud of. You want to identify with because there is sincerity of purpose in it. So once there is sincerity of purpose from the government angle, then from the stakeholders, the private sector and community, once they take ownership and see their responsibilities clearly spelled out in this and see a part of growth for their businesses, for their enterprise in this, I think it's going to be sustainable. Everybody's going to be in the same vehicle, and no government will come and want to jettison it.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. Well, we don't have much time, but then the benefits of the PPCP that has been adopted by the present administration of Professor Charles Chukwumasoludo is definitely going to reap the right benefits at the right time. Because talk about development, just this morning we were talking about where the South-South governors were coming together to build a network in order to promote and probably make their area viable. So PPCP is a model that can definitely bring about swift development if all hands are on deck, because it will remove that burden of government wanting to do it alone. When people decide that, okay, for instance, my community doesn't have street lights, I as an individual, a philanthropy, I want to, make the place, well lit at night. Some other person might pick up that from the next angle and say, okay, fine, we want to have very good medical facilities in my own community. By the time 2 or 3 people are beginning to come up and pull their strengths together, you begin to see development in that community. And like you say, good things spread like wildfire.
Yeah, and
before you know what's happening.
Trust Anambra people.
Exactly.
They have this
a region
spirit.
A region will definitely develop. Yeah. When people are talking about Japa, I keep saying that we can actually create an enabling environment in this part, in this region, where people will now be jackpying into. Exactly. You understand? To definitely have something to do. So
very important.
PCCP to me is a brand that we need to champion in order to bring that the vision of the government. You understand? The Taiwan, the Dubai, and the rest of it, or the Asian tigers, we definitely can make it work here.
All right, thank you. That's how we have seen it this morning. Remember, we looked at encouraging public-private community partnership. That's the PPC, the development model for this present administration. And we had Mr. Chinemerem Ogwebwe, business development specialist and the chairman Anambra, Nigerian Association of Small and Medium Enterprise, Anambra chapter. Why am I just Anambra? Well, thank you very much for coming, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, we also had our own in the house, is an in-house now, Comrade Ken Okoli. He is the President General, Anambra State Association of Town Unions Youth Wing. Asatu Youth is what we call them. SND Turuba.
Dalu, it's a pleasure having this morning discussion with you.
Thank you. Yes, and my name is Sijama Uche. God keeping us. We are going to be here tomorrow morning, and then we'll bring up another topic to talk about, AJ.
Of course, definitely. We have lots of things to talk about. But now we have our sports segment, and I'm sure our sport analyst is already gearing up, bouncing by the side to give us updates on what's happening in the world of sports. And that's how we're going to be moving to the next segment from now.
Do stand by.